How's it, Aloha gang? Welcome back to High Now Daily. Tad Yamakawa, General Manager for Tanioka, is joining Jake and I over here as we talk about Small Business Month. And Tanioka is this awesome local business. Welcome in. Good to see you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, always
We're happy
good
to
to
have
see
you. Now, real quick, before we went to break, we saw that video talking about the relationship with Tanioka's and First Hawaiian Bank. How have they really come in, FHB, come in and supported Tanioka's and helped the business grow?
First Hawaiian Bank and Clover has been a really great partner. Just like a quick backstory, what I mentioned earlier, Tanioka's is a family business, and up until First Hawaiian Bank, we did everything manual. Manual accounting, manual transactions, just everything is just manual. We have 150 employees, so we had enough staff to maintain that. But COVID came and that all changed.
Yeah.
Right? From 150 employees, we went down to, at one point, down to 45. Business started, slowed down, but as business started to improve, our employees count has not. So just so happened during that time of COVID, coming through COVID, First Hawaiian Bank came with this awesome opportunity to present us with this Clover terminal. And honestly, it's been a lifesaver. It's really helped us move forward with today's world and today's type of customer service. The Tanioka family, they really value customer service, and their idea of customer service is face-to-face, over the phone, and that type of service. But nowadays generation, nowadays time, everything is on your phone.
Everything's different now.
Everything is
We're
different.
Scanning QR codes all over the place, on the table, on the ground, on the ceiling, and menus are popping up on everyone's phone.
Exactly. So, in First Hawaiian Bank and Clover, they give us this great opportunity not to just help increase and our efficiency as far as accounting and inventory and whatever service, but also we can also feature, and we just recently introduced our online ordering, and that's also another way of customer service, because there's a lot of people that who do not want to talk to someone on the phone or come in person. My daughter is one. She rather just
my parents is another one. Yeah. But what I love though, Tad, about that story is that especially here in Hawaii, we've seen so many long-time local spots have changed or they're not around as much anymore, and to see Tanioka's taking that innovative step, going with the times, keeping all of the great flavors as well, it's awesome.
Definitely, and First Hawaiian Bank has definitely been a big part of us right now and moving forward, and so we're really excited about this partnership and what they've actually done for our business. It's really amazing.
Definitely. Jake, now what do you think just differentiates First Hawaiian Bank from other resources that are out there when it comes to supporting small business and local business here?
Okay, that's a good question. You mentioned relationships before, and I think that's really key to it, because what we're really focused on is creating these long-standing relationships, long-standing partnerships that go beyond just a focus period or a month where we're celebrating small businesses. It's something that we want to continue on, and so that's why we really look for these opportunities, especially like with Tad and Jasmine at Tanioka's, just to have this partnership where it is a two-way street. We want to hear, we obviously want to hear all the high points, all the wins that we have, with how they're working out. But we also want to hear like the tough conversations as far as how could this be a little bit different? How can we tweak this? What kind of challenges are there? And because that way, that helps us to evolve and helps us to kind of grow and help our customers a little bit better in the future.
Absolutely. Jake, how do people get more information about small businesses, different resources and programs that are available?
Again, I would recommend they go into the branch, talk to their bankers, or just talk to anyone in there, or go back to fhb.com/smallbusiness.
Okay, and I want to tell everybody out there, as well as they continue to celebrate Small Business Month, make sure you head to the First Hawaiian Bank Instagram as well for all of those great giveaways. Gang, I've been patient enough. I gotta dig in over here. I've been just my chopsticks. These are all the platters that are available, and you mentioned all of these are available online, right? They can order.
Yeah. Online.
Catering.
Give us a call. Yep. Mix and match. Your favorite choices.
Okay, give everyone the number on the Instagram, Tad. How can people do it?
Taniokas.com, or give us a call, 808-671-3779. Or, we highly recommend going online and utilizing our new First Hawaiian Bank Clover online ordering system.
Okay, really good. And this is basically the setup for it, right?
Yeah.
I know it's not on right. Yeah. So it's efficient, it's quick, and it's easy. Tad, thank you so much, and congratulations. All the innovation, all the good things taking place. Jake, cheers. Let's dig into this, gang. All right, we're going to hit the break. You're watching High Now Daily. We'll be right back. Aloha.